right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday night. I'm your host, Christopher Bilbrey. This is the Political Spotlight. Welcome, welcome, welcome to everybody. I hope you're doing fine. We're going to be talking about what's going on currently in the city of Muncie in Delaware County. And my God, do we have some crazy things to talk about, folks. We're going to talk about two issues in Muncie and one issue facing all of us in Delaware County. So Muncie and everyone else in Delaware County. So the first two issues that we're going to talk about is the mayor of Muncie and his most recent community update. Just absolutely insane to me. We're going to talk about that. We're going to play it, let you hear it. We're going to dissect it. And then we're going to be talking about this absolutely disastrous board of fun meeting that they held on Wednesday the 4th. We previewed it a little bit last night, but it's insane, so we're going to talk about that. And then to wrap the show up, we're going to be talking about a decision made by a judge, and I gotta really ask what is going on. I don't understand. Like, I know judges don't communicate on things frequently. They can't. But I gotta know what is going on. What is the thought process behind some of this? So we're gonna get into that. All right. Here we go.
Good morning, Muncie. Dan Ridenour here, your mayor. Today is Wednesday. It is October 4th. It's a beautiful day. Another 80-degree October day. So we're excited about that. A couple of things going on. Tomorrow is the big Arts Walk and Soup Crawl in downtown. You will want to be there. I know there's going to be some weather challenges, but quite frankly, the event is too long.
First of all, man, I drove by this place today at like 4 p.m. Oh, my Lord. Those poor people out at the largest event in existence, they had put so much time and effort into this, and they were out there, and they had tents up, and they were doing their thing, man. And it was the middle of an absolute pouring down rain. I'll be honest, I pulled over to take a picture because I was going to use that picture. But then something inside of me stopped. Something inside of me stopped me from doing that because I didn't want to make it seem like I was happy at their misfortune, because I wasn't. I'm not. I hate it for these people. I don't maybe like this administration or whatnot, but the people that were out there has got nothing to do with that. They were out there and they were doing their thing, and it's not their fault that the weather was really crappy. I'm telling you, the rain that was coming down. I did, however, take that very moment to take a picture of not what I was going to, but I took a picture of a vehicle that happened to be right next to me. I'm going to show you the reason I took a picture of this vehicle. I loved what I seen in this vehicle. Here, let me show you here. Look at this. Here we go. I'm going to put this up. Look at this. This rain was pouring, and these two dogs were hanging out of the side of this truck. And there were people walking. I'm going to show you. There's a couple pictures. Look at these beautiful creatures hanging out of this guy's truck. I'm telling you, this guy is driving like a little beater piece of junk truck. The mirror's broken off of it, and it's all beat up. But I would have killed to be that man. I want these dogs so bad. Look at these fellas or these women. I can't really tell, obviously, hanging outside of this vehicle. They were just barking at people. I rolled down my window and talked to him a little bit. This guy's looking around. This guy is looking at me the whole time. Look at him. He's looking like he was not taking his eyes off of me. I had a dog that looked pretty similar to this fella here. Man, these creatures are beautiful. Man. Does Biden have shepherds? I didn't know he had German shepherds. Well, there's something that I like about Biden. Who knew? All right, back to God, look. And from there, we got to talk about this guy. This is horrible. Would you rather go back to the dogs? We could go back to the dogs. I'd rather talk about the dogs. All right, back to Mr. Rogers here. All right.
Large to not have, and it's
too
really
large
not something
not
that we could even move. They are making some arrangements for some of the events to take place indoors if necessary. They'll make a decision tomorrow morning, but you'll want to be there. I mean, YART alone has over 200 artists that will have booths there. 200. They're desperately needing volunteers to help with that. We believe that outside of maybe New York and Los Angeles, it could be one of the largest groups of art displays and artists in the country. We believe that. Don't know if that's 100% true, but I think that I was told that might be the case outside of
Pause this.
New York and Los Angeles to when you're bringing art.
Okay, listen to what I'm telling you right now. I was standing in line to get into my event yesterday, and somebody sent me this update and was like, hey, have you seen this? And I was like, no. And they're like, watch it. Watch this. And I'm standing in this event. I'm going into this real swanky place. And there's people all around me, and I'm listening to Ridenour. I've got my phone up to my ear, doing my thing, listening. And I hear him say this. We believe that our art community, or whatever this is the largest art thing, outside of New York and LA, which would make it the third largest art display in America. Outside of New York and LA, I don't know which one of them are bigger. Ridenour is claiming that this damn thing is the third largest art display in America. Then, and I'm going to come back to that. But then he says, well, we don't know it is, but we believe. And I thought, if that is not the absolute definition of his entire existence in office, we don't know, but we believe. That's what compels Cory Bory Fink day in and day out to get online and call people idiots. That's what compels the Wegleys to do the things that they do, and the Tacketts and the Goodpastors and the Tuckers and the Stiltzes of the world to get on and fight people incessantly. A man who can say, we've got the largest art installation outside of New York and LA. Well, we don't know. Someone told me. We don't know, but we believe. What? Listen. Okay, because this is a minor thing. People are going to say, but why are you picking on this? Because listen to me. Dan is very calculated. Dan doesn't waste his time with nonsense. Everything he says has a purpose. And if Dan is doing this type of thing, he means it. And if this is how they're doing this, then this is how they're doing other things. And if he is willing to exaggerate something this stupid, then think about everything else. Think about those times when he's sitting down with the developers and when he's sitting down with these people, when he knows they've got to go in front of the council, and when he's sitting down with the building committee for the fire department, and when he's sitting down with GM development for the solar field and GM development for the fire department and Horizon for Michael's place and the Jennings for the old jail thing and Ratchford for his property. Think about how he's approaching all of that stuff. Darla just obviously, yeah. Muncie, I just Googled the top 10 cities and Muncie wasn't on the list. I don't even think Muncie's on the top 10 cities in Indiana. That's a good idea, Jackie. I will reach out to Moth. Moth and I've been talking here lately on a couple. She's asked a couple questions and I've shot some stuff back. And look, this is not to kick her and the art community. I love the art community and I love artists and I love poets and I love musicians. I'm a creator at heart. This is a creation. I am a creator. I was in a band. I played music in a band and all that stuff. I get it, man. Get your hippie on if you want. I'm down with it. Paint me a painting, sing me a song, whatever you want to do. I'm cool with that. I'm not knocking their community. I'm not knocking this event in Muncie because they put on a hell of an event even in the pouring rain. But think about this for a moment, all right? Think about this for just a moment, if you will. Okay, Muncie's population is 65,292, all right? 65,292, all right? Houston, Texas is 2.28 million. What about Austin, Texas? What about Austin, Texas? Austin, Texas has a population of 964,000. Do you know that Austin, Texas is quickly growing to be one of the biggest art hubs, creator hubs in the country? Vastly. I was there a couple years ago with my brother who lived in Houston at the time, and we went to Austin, and Austin was amazing. We walked for blocks upon blocks upon blocks of just in their creator village in downtown Houston. This art event in Muncie was at Cannon Commons. It was like 2 blocks. What about Boulder, Colorado? What about Miami, Florida? What about San Francisco? What about Seattle? Austin, Texas wants to be Muncie when they grow up. What about Nashville, Tennessee? Well, he said New York. He said outside of New York. So New York, he's already named. New York and L.A. He said outside of New York and L.A. So I'm just blindly going around the country. You know, Houston, Texas, Austin, Texas, Dallas, Texas. What about Muncie's true sister city, Norman, Oklahoma? Well, I mean, San Francisco, Boulder, Colorado, Miami, Tallahassee, Orlando, Tampa. Any of these places, Fort Wayne. What about any Chicago? Chicago. Well, Charlize said that earlier. Debbie said Chicago. Charlize said this when I was bitching about this either last night. I don't know when I saw her say this, but she's like, they have, whole neighborhoods that are just artist like creations and villages. So it's completely asinine that this man would say this. Because here's the deal, all right? You're going to get a lot of people listen to this. People probably didn't give that line much of a thought. And there are going to be people that are going to be like, look at Bilbrey, he's being a fool. He's making a big deal out of nothing. No, this is serious. If I can't get on in the morning and listen, New Orleans, Louisiana. New Orleans, hello. That's my Larry King. Dry Whistle, Nevada, hello. I made that up. I don't know. It sounds like it would be like a place. Dry Whistle, Nevada. That sounds like it would be a place. What if we can't get on and listen to this mayor in the morning and think that he's going to tell us the truth? Then he might as well not get on. You know, this might be him wishing in one hand and taking a tack in the other. But population 10. Is that Dry Whistle? Is Dry Whistle, Nevada? Let's look that up. I just made that up. Dry Whistle. Ooh, Dry Whistle cough. No. That needs to be, damn it, that needs to be a, oh, no, wait a minute. Hold on. What's this? Images for Dry Whistle, Nevada. Is it really a place? Oh, that's Lake Mead. Okay, never mind. Well, that needs to be a place. Remember Big Jim Carrey saying, tell the people what they want to hear. Right? Yes. Absolutely. I'm telling you, man, just mind-boggling that we're just 2 minutes in to the mayor's nonsense at this point. This is 2 minutes in. So I just heard this and I thought, okay, well, I see you. No, there's no Dry Whistle, unfortunately. That's the name. That's what the name of Muncie is going to be when Dan kills it. I was gonna ask John if he becomes mayor, if he could please tell his people to stop killing our people. Hey, could you, John, if you become mayor, can you please have your people stop killing our people, please? That's the first thing that the Muncie police says. Anytime there's a crime, people from Anderson came to kill us. Well, that's pretty scary. I don't want to go to Anderson. If you go to Anderson, don't tell them you're from Muncie. Yeah, this is crazy. All right, continuing along this fiction update. What's he doing here? What is the mayor doing right here? Welcome to No Funcy, Indiana. Here we go.
Artists together. And so we're real proud of that. We have a booming art community here in our community. And we're really proud of that. So come downtown tomorrow night, Thursday night, and
rain or shine.
Take and go to the restaurants.
Bring a boat.
Participate in the soup crawl, which raises money for charities, and get some art. You'll have a great time. The Thomas Park splash pad has been open now for a few days. There are still some minor things to be done, but there are also still a few weeks left of some warm weather. So I noticed some kids taking advantage of and enjoying the splash pad yesterday.
We've got so many.
And I was told that they've been there. There have been children there for the last several days. So we're happy that that's a new addition to Thomas Park. We appreciate everything that is going on, and our Parks Department for helping us make that a reality. Iron Man was completed this past weekend.
Yay!
There were participants from from exactly 25 different countries and 6 continents. There were literally thousands of visitors to our community.
We had people from over 1,000 continents in Muncie. We had visitors from over 1,000 continents here. This past weekend, we're really happy about that, and it went very, very smoothly. The weather was absolutely perfect for participating in an event. Congratulations to Michelle Owen, our communications director, who completed the entire event, and to the City of Muncie team, which included Dustin Clark, who did the swim, Matt Wagley, our deputy controller, who did the bike, and I did the half marathon. He congratulates himself. We're very proud of that. And there were a lot of other Muncie participants. Muncie is a hotbed of triathletes. So we're very proud of that. And the next few weeks, there are quite a few paving situations going on. Glenwood is under some major reconstruction, and we're doing it right. So we're milling things out, but we're also replacing old utility equipment, and that's part of the way that you make it last long term, is by doing it the proper way and not cutting corners. Well, I know also they were milling out Sycamore yesterday. I haven't been down to check. I had some meetings this morning, so I don't know if it's being paved at this moment, but that's coming up and being paved. Euclid's another one over by Store Estates that is probably getting milled out either this week or next week and paved. And then Indian Village is nearing the completion of that work. And again, we did all this right. We put in ADA compliant sidewalks. We put in new drainage. We put in new sewer system. So it's important to do it the right way so that it lasts long term for the citizens of Muncie. That's how we do it. That's how we feel is the best way. That's how we do it.
We also should hear back very soon for the fall round of community crossings.
We should.
So there will be some additional streets that we have already started some of the engineering on, but we'll be doing probably early next year.
I'll let you know what I hear.
Wanted to just, for those who aren't aware, Chief Meade announced his retirement last week. We didn't make a formal announcement, and that was for a number of reasons, but we did want to.
No. This is such a cop-out. This is such a bloody cop-out, man. I cannot deal with this. I cannot deal with his nonsense. Stand by here and I will tell you. I want to be able to tell you exactly and for sure. Okay, so it wasn't then. Breaking news, 9:25. All right, let's count this up. Let's count this up so we know. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Exactly 9 days. 9 days from the time that the fire chief of the city of Muncie informed his crews, his men and women, the 3 turns, and the city that he was retiring. 9 days it took the Ridenour administration to announce that. All right. And he said, we didn't do a formal announcement for various reasons. Okay. And they're going to say because it was personal, because of what was going on. I've said it so much and so frequently and so often that I'm tired of, I'm not even doing it. I'm not even doing it. I'm out of cares now. Yes, what happened to him was tragic. Yes, he needs to deal with that if that's what this is. But let's also not forget that there is a cheating scandal currently going underway and how that's being dealt with and all of the nonsense around the fire department. Okay, keep that in mind. Also, I want to say that I believe that the only reason that they brought it up in this update is so he could use that retirement and him separating from the fire department to then piggyback into the mayor discussing how disappointing it was that the council tabled Resolution 1723. So, all right, let's go.
Where's his cake? Where's the cake for the chief?
Yeah, I don't know.
Didn't they make a big deal about the last one that retired and had like this cake and stuff and have pictures with the mayor and
you always do things like that.
I mean, you not only didn't acknowledge it, you didn't honor the man for his service either.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely.
Cheating scandal or no.
Well, all right, so hold on. Don't let me stop the mayor. Now we'll hear obviously who he's going to appoint as chief here in just a second. Let's listen.
Take the opportunity to thank him. He wanted to reach out to his employees personally, and he did so.
Okay, great.
And we're very thankful for his years that he's put in with the Muncie Fire Department, all the great work that he has done. And we're very appreciative of everything that he's accomplished. One of the things that he was most passionate about was the upgrades to the fire stations. And
this was a thing he's been fighting for years and years. When he was a little boy, he said, I want to be a fireman so I can someday grow up to be chief, so I can work for Dan Ridenour, so I can improve the fire stations, Paul. And his Paul said, son, you work real hard, and one day you might just get a chance to live out those dreams. All right? Give me a break.
Part of this process that started when the city council approved back in 2000.
Oh, wait. Are we moving on? It sounds like he's not even going to mention who the fire chief is. So wait a minute. One fire chief left. Where's the next fire chief? Why is he not telling us who the new fire chief is? What is going on here? What kind of has the communications director quit? Where is she at? Why is she not in charge of any of this anymore? I've asked her, I've texted her, I've called her, I've sent her emails, and I have not received a response back from her yet. I don't know what she's doing. She's been very good about answering me since she's been in that department.
She's been training for that event thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's too busy training for that.
Well, that and also they're in campaign mode.
Right. So, I mean, she's busy.
Yes. Very, 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 very busy. All right. Now let's listen to his nonsense that he babbles on about the firehouses.
2020, they approved setting up a committee, And moving forward with fire station 2020, when the city the fire stations, and he's been part of this process that started when the city council approved back in 2020. They approved setting up a committee, and moving forward.
They approved setting up a committee in 2020. Well, when did that happen? I don't know when that happened, where that happened, or who was there. Okay. If they approved setting up the committee in 2020, then why did they not set the committee up until March of 2021? Why did they wait that time period? I think what he's saying here, and I will admit if I'm wrong, so mark this down. This is something that I could be wrong about, and I've reached out, and I don't know if there are currently any Muncie City councilors watching this. If you want to correct me, we can do it here, or we're going to find out. So I've asked, okay? Ridenour says that the council approved setting up the building committee, and that's what they did back in 2020. I think he's misspeaking here. I think what he's talking about is July 6th, 2020, when the council approved the bot ordinance, which allowed them to utilize bot, build, operate, transfer. I don't think that the council ever voted to set up a fire building commission committee. I don't believe that ever happened. The building committee, I do not believe that happened. So I asked Mayor Ridenour and his team today, I asked them that very question. Okay? Under what action did the city council approve setting up a committee for the firehouse back in 2020? I know in July of 2020, they voted on the bot ordinance, but when did they vote on the committee? Can someone clearly smarter than I point me to that meeting or those minutes? Lindsay Corey Fink, Shireen Whaley, Troy Tackett, maybe Dan could help, or the very quiet as of late comms director, Michelle Owens. Let's see here. Did I get an answer? No. Lindsay Corey Fink says, thank you, Muncie Fire Department Chief Robert Meade, for your many years of service and dedication to our great community. You've been a true asset to the city, and we are very thankful to have you for everything. We wish you the best, and you will truly be missed. Okay, great. No, I did not receive an answer. It does not look like anyone responded to me. When did I write this? 8 hours ago. I wrote this at 1:57 p.m. and nobody responded. Well, that's weird because they normally are responding each and every day. So I don't know, but I think, again, he's stretching the truth. If I'm wrong, I will come back and I will eat these words. And I will gladly do it. But I don't think they set up I don't think they voted to approve setting up a committee. I just don't think that happened. All right, forward ho.
Forward with fire station upgrades and or improvements. And so that committee then authorized the administration, myself and the administration, to put together a request for qualifications, which we then picked a developer, and then the developer picked some individual contractors to do some of the work. And then there were designs, there were studies that determined what was necessary, what was required, what was helpful for our citizens as far as run times, what stations needed to be improved first. And then unfortunately, it's been in a rapidly increasing inflationary period of time. So we actually had hoped to do 3. We cut it down to 2, and then we even had to adjust some of those down to make the numbers even work. But there was a delay by the city council at this past Monday's council meeting. Very frustrating.
I feel like Dan doesn't know what it's like to be a city councilor. Dan doesn't know. No, I didn't. I got a laughing emoji by somebody that is not a Ridenour fan. It wasn't a true laughing emoji. The only laughing emojis that I count are from Troy or Bennington or Mike Jones or Matt Wagley sometimes. Those are the only people that can truly hand out the laughing emojis. Okay, so going back to this, though, I feel like no, something's just off with this.
But they did delay this. We do have everything ready to go on MLK. The engineering's ready. We're
yeah, it's everything. Because I told all these people it was a done deal. So everything's already ready already. I didn't think that the council would ever do their jobs. He's like so incredulous. Like, how could I ever, why would they have done what they're supposed to do? Why would they have taken their time? I do want to let everybody know, if anybody wants to hear a really good breakdown, of my issue with everything with the firehouse, why I stand against it. I talk about all of that. If you want to hear a really good breakdown, or if you want to share it to anybody, go back to my video from my live video, episode 44 from the other night. You see it here on my thing here. It's this one, The Politics of Guilt. Remember, that was the one that we got on and we talked for like 35 minutes before we even got into the episode. Well, what I did was, because I wanted that one to be able to be used for this very reason, what I did was I chopped those 36 minutes out. I kept it, kind of like the Beatles. You don't ever throw anything out. You hit record and you let it run, and nothing ever goes in the trash can. You save anything, because it could, Ringo farting on tape could always make some kind of great sound for the day in the life record. You never know, So I cut that 36 minutes out, and I put that 36 minutes on its own video, an outtake thing. So it's nonsense. So you can go see it if you want it. Some people watched it. It's stupid. Go watch it if you want to. It's got some good stuff there. We talk no politics about it. It's just complete outtakes. But this video, I got to say, episode 44 is probably my best video because of the cut down. Matter of fact, I want to show you how this works. I'm just going to let you know, see how fast we get into it. People are going to be like, yeah, that's how you need to do your videos. Watch this. Live, camera one. Yes,
that's better than the turkey call.
Watch this right here. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. I'm your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. I'm really disappointed by how a lot of people have been acting from the meeting last night, when we have counselors on 40 seconds and we're already talking about it. 40 seconds into the video and we're already getting to the meat of the point. People are going to be like, holy shit, this is a complete turn of events here. This is really well put together. And I went through it. Matter of fact, I went through it and I broke down the timeline, and I give everybody the timeline. Really disappointed. Pack of rabid dogs. Never forget 5-4, similar to 9/11 feelings. City council killed firemen and citizens. Bilbrey calls for Councilor Rose Selby, head of the Public Works Committee, to call special meeting. Don't delay. As a former public servant, Bilbrey reminds everyone that he supports the fire department. Who is the chief of the Muncie Fire Department? Why was Mayor Ridenour not at the council meeting fighting for what side he wanted? Even if the resolution was not tabled at the meeting, construction wouldn't start until May of 2024. So what's 36 more days going to hurt? Councilor Troy Ingram's comments. Building committee has been in place since March 2021. Did it include any city councilors other than Councilor Troy Clark or Aaron Clark? Councilor Aaron Clark and Greg Martz, GM Development, are first cousins by law. That is okay. There is no actual conflict of interest, but the appearance of impropriety is strong here. Let's talk about the other appearance of impropriety. Greg Martz and GM Development have donated at least $3,000 to Ridenour's campaign. Then it could be more now. I'll have to get the report when it comes out. Politics in action, looking down at the social media post made by fireman Jason Chafin. Councilor Rose Selby, conflict, thoughts and actions, and then all of this. So I broke it down, and you can go to it. You don't have to watch the thing, but it's very good exercise if you want to look at what was wrong with the resolution and why they needed to wait. This is a masterclass in explaining it. I normally don't say that about my stuff. I'm like, oh, this is very well done. It's very well put together. Very, very, very well put together. Yeah, I called Ro. I talked to Ro. All right, excuse me. I've called her. She's kind of playing the avoiding me thing. So she's not got back to me yet. We messaged just briefly. The other night, she asked me if I ever slept. And I was like, yes, I do. It's none of your business. I sleep 3 minutes at a time, standing up. How do you sleep? Anyway, so that's there. But what the mayor's saying here and all this crap is complete bull crap. I get so angry listening to his nonsense. All right, forward ho.
We're at a point where we can start doing the construction engineering and move that station forward. The other station is not quite ready. We still have a variance board meeting. Doing the
construction. What? There's another lie. There is another lie. What did he just say? I didn't even catch that when I listened to this the other 2 times. I did not catch that. That's crazy. Hold on. We're going to go back and just listen to that one more time.
Engineering's ready. We're at a point where we can start doing the construction engineering and move that station forward. We did delay this. We do have everything ready to go on MLK. The engineering's ready. We're at a point where we can start doing the construction engineering and move that station forward. The other station is not quite ready. We still have a variance.
Maybe he means the construction engineering, like engineering the construction. I don't know. That's weird because I thought they said it would be a year. Maybe he means something else there. If somebody else gets a different type of vibe from that, that's fine. This is very, very, very strange. Yes. Also, you should look into the Iron Man and see if the ones that participated, see if they were still being paid by tax dollars. Surely to God, they wouldn't be that stupid, but I will take a look at that.
Board meeting to attend, the one on Tillotson.
Well, let's see here. Who is it? Who did he say was in it? Him, Matt Wegley, Michelle, and Dustin Clark. So they all get paid. I'll have to look at that and see. I'll have to look and see what the deal is there. All right, going on.
But we felt it was important to move this forward. The council voted otherwise, 5-4, so a split decision, but it was enough of a no vote that it did delay things. And quite frankly, we're not real pleased about that.
Hey, quite frankly, nobody cares.
There was some concern. So anyway, the report that committee, which did have a council, there was some concern. So anyway,
who just stopped him? Somebody, look, he's looking at somebody off camera, and he starts to say that, and then he stops. Watch this.
Was split decision, but it was enough of a no vote that it did delay things. And quite frankly, we're not real pleased about that. There was some concern. So anyway, the report that committee, which did have a council member as a part of it.
He acts like he's like, he acts like he's saying something there. The council member, my guy, was Aaron Clark, Craig March's cousin. Are you for real? The guy that does anything that you want him to do. That's not a real council member for the rest of us.
A city council member. That committee report that showed the condition of all the different stations was made available to the city council members back in February of 23. We have placed that now on the website so that the public can see it. But
there's some question about that. We don't know if they did or not. Aaron Clark claims he got it. I filed a records request to see if it was sent or not. I don't know if it is or not. But my question is, why not make it available on the city's website back in February? Why just now make it available to the public? Make it available to everybody in February. Then it's hard for the council to say, oh, we didn't get it.
The city council has had that since February of 2023.
Maybe. I mean, here's the thing. This is why it's hard to, I don't believe anything he's saying. He literally just told me that Muncie's art walk was the third largest in the country. Well, we don't know. We believe it, but whatever. Well, if that's the way that you do things, man, I don't know everything else you're saying. I don't know what's truthful or not.
And so we were, again, very disappointed they didn't let us move forward. This was not to finance the building. This was to move it to the next phase. And hopefully they'll do the right thing in November. And then we also we published last week that we had seen a 32% increase in park attendance across the city. And there were a lot of questions that brought up. Some of them were, how did we get the data? Where did we get the data? So I'll just we have now.
How did we get the data? Where did we get the data? Why do we have the data? He seems so angry that people would be, how dare we ask questions like this?
Subscribe to a geo fencing service that anonymously collects cell phone data, and it doesn't show whose cell phone. It just shows the number of cell phones, and they're able to tell. This is how restaurants, retail. This is how Amazon, a lot of places.
Yeah, and we don't like it when those companies do it, and you're the government. We like you doing it even less. But he acts like this might be getting him out of something, because it definitely doesn't. I've asked for all of the information. I've asked for the company. How much is this service costing the taxpayers, Mr. Mayor? We will find out, because I have put in a records request asking about all of this. But they maybe have stopped talking to me, so I don't know if I'll get it or not. I might have to file a complaint. It's just very crazy. But in answer to the timing issues question, how many people does that mean have left? Stand by, I'll count it up here real quick. 17. There were 16, and this chief makes 17 total. 17 total, and like 13 or 14 of those happened in the first year and a half. Board of Works said yes anyways. About what? Well, we're coming up to the Board of Works. Hold on. Here we go.
Use this geofencing, but this allows that app to access the location. We're able to see that location data, and that's how we came up with those numbers. This is something that many businesses use. And so sometimes if you're in an area, that's why something can pop up on your phone. That's how that happens.
You're the government, man.
In particular, TUI, the attendance at TUI splash pad, that has tripled since we added that splash pad.
So what are they saying here? 33,400 people.
Attendance tripled since they at the splash pad. Tripled since they added the splash pad. Well, I would sure as hell hope so.
And if they just started this with this data. Now, how do they know how many people was there in 2017? That's questionable.
And so we're able to see what the attendance was then, had was put in, and it more than tripled. So we're very grateful to our park staff, which we think does a good job of maintaining and working to improve areas where maybe it's not having the attendance increase. That information. So I think that's it for today.
All right, that's it for today on that. Now, from there, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to the Board of Works. It sounds very campaignish. That was a campaign video. It was 10 minutes of him campaigning on the taxpayer dime. It's gross. It's ridiculous. It needs to stop. All right. Now, we have the Board of Works, and then we're going to wrap up with the judicial decision. Let me get right into the Board of Works here.
I'm Matt Wagley, Deputy Controller. I'll be filling in for Craig Wright today.
Okay. Boy, that sounds
sent out
fun.
claims yesterday.
Anybody
he covered a few.
Weren't we talking about Dry Whistle a little bit ago? I think we found him.
Two claims in his email. There's one on page 8 for 6353. That was for the Muncie Fire Department purchase of a drone, $5,000 of which was from a ball grant. Page 18, there are two claims for a little over $33,000 apiece. Those are for the fire and police pension Medicare insurance supplements. Then under the EFTs, there was a little over $15,000 payment for a loan with Star Bank for police vehicles, and a little over $278,000 to UMR, which is our health insurance. And with that, I'll open it up for any questions.
Yes, I have a couple of comments on page 7 and on page 16. There are a couple of claims that I think the description is not clear enough.
Mm-hmm.
They're for reimbursements, and just for audit purposes, I think we ought to put in there what they're reimbursing for.
Yeah, we'll touch bases with both those departments.
Other than that, I had no questions. It's mostly insurance and utilities, the usual.
The cost of doing business as a city, right?
Yes.
Lola, do you have any questions?
I just have a quick question. On page 16, the $5,000, it says City of Muncie, City Advertising, Legacy Village, West African, and then the rest is cut off. What is that for?
That is for advertising at the new restaurant up here on Granville. That's advertising for the city. It's African Legacy Village African Cuisine.
Okay, cuisine.
Cuisine. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Do we have any comments or questions from anyone in the public? Okay. Do we have a motion to accept the claims as presented?
I move approval of the claims for $518,265.
Second.
Okay. Do we have any other comments or questions? Okay, great. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much. Motion carried. Thank you, Matt. We don't have any unfinished business, but we do have some new business. We have a street closure application.
We've already heard about the street closure.
Yes,
we'll skip that.
And the cornhole tournament during the daytime hours I'll say put flyers out
after the meeting. So it
Okay.
won't take long.
Thank
okay?
you very much. I appreciate it.
We're going to talk about, while you're coming up, Alan, I think you're with community development, right? One of the things that I want to just discuss real quick as you're preparing, we have, I would like to propose a motion for our board to put a moratorium on any noise ordinances through the remainder of the year. There's just been some road bumps. And
why does he keep licking his, I mean, how nervous is this guy? Look at him licking his tongue, lips.
some questions along that way. Since this is the end of the year, there's really not a lot of noise ordinance variances that we have to give. But we want to do this correctly, and we want to do it properly.
Oh, this is not the correct way to do it.
The law, but we want to make sure that the community and the citizens are taken care of too. So,
you don't give a shit about the citizens of the community.
we're going to be having some time together with the police chief, with city officials.
You've already you've been
it's also
telling
been
us
recommended
for
that
2
we talk
years you were
to
going to have
the
that
city
time.
council and the public works.
How
committee
hard
there,
is it to get with the
so
police
that we can
chief?
do this in a comprehensive way, so that it's very clear and such. So I would make a motion to put a moratorium on all noise variances to the noise ordinances through the remainder of 2023. Do we have so I make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay.
I am so mad at myself that I was not there to speak up against this before the vote. I am really mad that I didn't do that. I was in the parking lot of City Hall when they were doing this. And something else just happened and that I needed to do, so I couldn't get out of it. But you best believe me that these people,
Do you have any comments or questions?
People up there,
Okay. Anybody else in the public have comments or questions?
will
Good. So
hear
all those in
from
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
we will let you hate
And
yourself.
we'll give updates as we know, but we just want to make sure that we
Your
keep our
updates are
community safe.
trash,
That's,
Ed.
That's the number one issue. So
This is trash.
okay, Alan, sorry about that. Thank you.
So I've got, so the first contract I have for you guys is the annual renewal for asbestos inspection services. Yeah, when the time comes. So if there comes asbestos inspections, I do not have that total figure off the top of my head though.
Typically, do you have an average what they run, what those inspections run?
So it's $300 an inspection.
And I know we did at least 30
So
bids, the one bunch we did this
yeah,
year.
so every time you guys bid demolitions, all of those have a $300 asbestos inspection with Donathan.
So we're talking $1,000.
Do you know how much you have allocated for that?
100,000.
Oh, 100,000.
No. Yeah, 30 times 300.
Yeah, I mean, just in the budget, do you have?
No.
So this is not
Okay, so this is not
a separate line item from the rest of the demolition process. So it's a part of the total budget for demolition. There's not a separate line for asbestos inspections versus because this is just for our demolitions.
Okay. Okay. So go ahead, Jerry.
No.
Because we have public, we want to make sure everybody can hear you.
Jerry Wise again. So after the inspection, we have the asbestos removal. Who does that?
So if there is a need for asbestos removal on a project, we then bid that out individually each time since there's not a set cost for that. So that could be Donathan, but there are also other people who bid on those.
I'd like to know as a public how much we spend. So next week or whatever.
Okay, we can work on that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I can get you the list of, because I can just pull every claim we paid to Donathan out of like our 2022 funds.
Okay.
So like I said, so this is a contract for our 2023 funds.
Thank you. Okay, so all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Sorry, I'm
Aye.
looking while they're
All
going through
opposed?
this. I'm looking.
Thank you.
at-
Most
I
carried. Thank
found
you.
one.
And Ellen, we've got then for the community development for a better way.
Yep. So what we are doing here, so this is
Invoice.
our home
for the YMCA.
ARP funds. So these are American Rescue Plan funds that were designated to the
For
U.S.
minor
Department of
amounts.
Housing and
So we'll
Urban
have to keep our
Development,
eyes
and
on
then
that.
they were allocated to
Okay,
communities
and that's
through
it
the
for
home.
the Board of Works. All right, the rest of the Board
They're
of
doing
Works,
with this
Alan
the funding
with nonsense.
of the
That
numbers
is
of
a great
people that.
shirt he's got on there.
Because I think that's as well.
Mhm.
901 North Briar.
Dan,
They're just having a get together.
taking his- undressing himself. What is he doing?
There's never a problem or question in their neighborhood.
the
One
love of
comments that we
God.
need to
All right, enough of that. So, okay, folks, this is I am so mad at them for what they're doing, but I'm just mad at myself because I wasn't there to speak out against it. I will go on Wednesday. I will be there and I will let them know how disappointed I am in them. I do have a lunch meeting coming up with Ted soon, and I'll let you guys know about that as well. So we're going to talk about all of this with them. For the very last part of this evening's broadcast, I know we're going a little long. Please bear with me. I apologize. I want to bring up this issue with the judge. Prosecutor says he's praying for victim after judge rules batterer can remain free. A Delaware County Circuit Court 2 jury, so it was a jury trial, so a jury of this man's peers found a Muncie man guilty of battering a pregnant woman. This is like the lowest of the low. The jury deliberated for about 3 hours before finding Billy Ray Simpson, 57, guilty of domestic battery resulting in bodily injury to a pregnant woman, a level 5 felony carrying up to 6 years in prison. When he was arrested in July 2021, a woman who said she was nearly 4 months pregnant with Simpson's child reported that he had struck her in the head with an ashtray during an argument. She also told police that after she called emergency dispatchers, Simpson told her she was going to be killed for being a snitch, according to an affidavit. Simpson denied he had struck the woman with the ashtray, the court document indicated. After the verdict was returned, Judge Kimberly Dowling set a sentencing for November 30th and rejected a request from Deputy Prosecutor Joe Orrick to hold Simpson in the Delaware County Jail until that time. So this man was found guilty, is told that he's facing up to 6 years in prison, and then was released onto the street. Orrick noted to the judge that Simpson had 2 prior convictions for both domestic battery and battery. So this man is clearly a violent individual with violent tendencies. In a news release, Delaware County Prosecutor Eric Hoffman said, "Words cannot adequately describe how disappointed I am that Judge Dowling chose to leave the defendant out on bail pending sentencing. The prosecutor who has frequently criticized the judge's rulings, prompting speculation that he might run for the Circuit Court 2 bench, also said he would pray for the safety of the victim. He noted Simpson's latest conviction came during the month of October, which has been designated as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Simpson's record also includes convictions for dealing in cocaine, possession of cocaine, and receiving stolen property and resisting law enforcement." Ladies and gentlemen, I do not understand why Judge Dowling has continued to make these. I have to call these ignorant and asinine rulings when she sits on a bench that is tasked with, making intelligent decisions on very serious situations. She has shown time and time again that she does not err on the side of the victims, and most of her rulings has ruled on the side of the defendant. She's failing drastically. She let many people out that should not have been let out on sentence modifications who had serious crimes. One of the big cases that was a sentence modification on Kenneth Herbert that prosecutor Eric Hoffman spoke out about. Stand by. I want to pull these up so you guys. I've put these in order. I want to pull these up so you can see these. It's something that I feel. I was just going to read down through them, but I feel like you guys need to be able to see them. Okay, look at this. Judge grants early release of career felon despite multiple objections of prosecutors. On today's date, Delaware County Circuit Court 2 Judge Kimberly Dowling released convicted felon Kenneth Herbert over the adamant objections of prosecutors. Herbert was originally sentenced to 6 years in prison in March of 2019 after he pled guilty to conspiracy to commit fraud on a financial institution. Law enforcement authorities said Herbert has been part of a scheme to create bogus checks, which were then cashed at local credit unions. All right. Over the objection of prosecutor Andrew Ramirez and Eric Hoffman, the judge granted Herbert's request that the remainder of his prison sentence be suspended. Okay. This is absolutely horrible because this man, after this, was then sentenced back to prison for the death of a wife. Sentence modification of convicted drug dealer despite objections of prosecutor. Judge orders release of convicted killer. More than 27 years after he was the main participant in an Eaton man's brutal slaying. Was ordered released from custody Thursday by Delaware County Judge Kimberly Dowling. This is just one thing after the next with her. Appeals court, judge can't free local killer. This is very important. A local judge does not have the authority to release convicted killer Matthew Stidham from prison, State Appeals Court ruled Thursday. In March, Delaware County Circuit Court 2 Judge Kimberly Dowling made the change to the 141-year sentence. She said, "Oh, you've served 27 years. Yeah, you're good." He received that for his role in the 91 slaying, making former Eaton resident eligible for a nearly immediate release. A day later, however, the Indiana Court of Appeals granted a request by the Indiana Attorney General's office to put Dowling's actions on hold pending further review. In the Thursday's ruling, the appeals panel ruled Dowling did not have the authority to modify the prison term imposed in 1991, and after an appeal led by a second trial, again in 1993, by an earlier Circuit Court 2 Judge Richard Daley. The decision noted that the Indiana Supreme Court upheld the Eaton man's convictions, and the sentence in 1994 ruled on the issues concerning the severity of his punishment. Judge Elaine Brown wrote that while the Eaton man said he was pursuing post-conviction relief, he was essentially requesting a modification of his sentence, which would normally require the consent of the prosecutor. Chief Deputy Prosecutor Eric Hoffman contested the request to alter Stidham's sentence. "Given the brutal facts of the case, I will never consent to sentence modification," Hoffman said Thursday. The Delaware County man likely appealed Thursday's ruling to the state Supreme Court, according to the State Department of Corrections website. Stidham, incarcerated in the Indiana State Prison of Michigan City, has a projected release date of May 2056, when he would be 83. Stidham was 17 when he participated in the killing and robbery of Daniel Barker, a 31-year-old Eaton resident, in February of 1991. Testimony during Stidham's 2 trials indicated the victim was beaten and then stabbed 47 times before his body was thrown into the Mississinawana River. Stidham was convicted of murder and robbery, criminal confinement. 2 co-defendants were also teens at the time of the slaying, pleading guilty to murder charges and having since been released from prison. One of those men, Jamie Todd Adams, in 2014 was granted a sentence modification by Dowling, who allowed him to spend the final 46 months of his 1991 sentence on probation. In recent weeks, Adams became the target of a local arrest warrant after he was charged with auto theft and 4 drug-related charges, including possession of meth. He remains at large on Thursday. Yeah, he ain't going back. You know, I don't know what happened with him there. But the point of this is she was reversed. She was actually reversed. This is very important, folks. This judge is up for re-election next year. If you are tired of seeing, I won't say drug dealers, because I think the world is changing on what's going on with that, and being libertarian minded, you know, I'll look at different things. I'll say criminals, convicted criminals, specifically sex offenders, get no time or time served. Kimberly Dowling, judge of the Delaware County Circuit Court 2, has made rulings on sex offenders that would make so many of your hairs stand on end. It does not make sense. I'm getting ready to wrap this up. We've been here for a minute, and I apologize. I just want to let you guys know, I want to impress upon you the seriousness of what is going on here with this judge. I don't know what it is. I sure as hell wish I knew. I don't know. I mean, I have always pondered what it is exactly that she is doing. Okay? I have no idea. She was campaigning with John Doerr. A lot of people know Doerr is the convicted criminal, disgraced, removed from office, former county treasurer John Doerr. Listen to this, man. Listen to me. He was removed from office because he was convicted of a felony while in office. That's corruption that we stand to defeat here at the Political Spotlight. And we have a judge who is campaigning with this convicted criminal. She was appointed to the bench to fill another judge's vacancy, and then she ran for re-election. And now, what a lot of people don't know is judges in Indiana serve 6-year terms. They don't serve 4-year term. They serve a 6-year term. So when you put a judge in office, they're there for a very long time. Well, this is her last year of the 6-year term. She's up for re-election next year. We need a good, strong, constitutionally minded Republican and Democrat, possibly a libertarian, to stand in the gap here, to not let her pass. She must be defeated. I want to take a shot at her in the primary, and I want someone to be there in the wings and in the general if she happens to get through the primary. I want multiple attorneys lined up to beat this judge. I just want to impress upon you how bad Judge Dowling is for the criminal justice system in Delaware County. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please like this episode. Hit that thumb if you haven't. Subscribe to the show if you haven't done that. Hit the bell so you get notified. I was talking to Brando this afternoon about some different things that he's wanting to do and some different things that we're going to start. We started doing the brainstorming on that process today. I know it's been a little slow going. We've just been trying to build the channel and get it going, and finally having him back from Europe and all that stuff. So we're just now kind of getting the juices flowing. Be looking for all of that. And we will see you back here tomorrow at 9 p.m. so we can tell you what goes on down in Indianapolis. Until then, you guys take care. God bless. And I will see you later. Good night.